Hello, everybody. Welcome. Danny Gurrola, Pink Barn Stamper, coming to you live in my pink barn. We are going to have so much fun today creating beautiful cards using the Sweet Bugs bundle. This is also a set that it also comes in a sweet collection as well. I will flip the camera around here in a little bit and show you the Sweet as a Bug sweet collection. So if you want it all, that's the best way to get it. But super, super cute little bugs. If you love making spring cards, you're going to love this set. It is perfect for birthday, grandkids, nieces, nephews, just anything springish. Just the cutest little bugs ever. And the paper is absolutely to die for. Oh my gosh. The paper, I think, is the, well, I guess I can't say that the paper is the star of the show, just because when you see the cute little characters that you can stamp, also have the matching die cuts, I think they really are what stand out, but the paper really kind of just ties it all together with all the different little elements in there. So I think you guys are going to love this class today that I have to offer for you guys. Now, the way that it works is when you shop with me this week and you spend $35 or more in my online store, you're going to actually get this in the mail for you to create these 3 wonderful cards as well. So you're going to get the cardstock, you're going to get the envelopes. So the only thing that you're going to need is you're going to need to have the bundle, the Sweet Bugs bundle, to create the cards as I'm going to show you guys. Or you can always use something that you already have that's kind of similar in your stash to create these cards as well. I have a really neat little fold that I'm going to share with you guys. My neighbor kind of brought over a few of her cards that she had designed. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. I think that is going to be fantastic to share with you guys. So that's what we're going to be doing today. If you already have this set and you're already a demonstrator and you're just looking for some extra inspiration, you can always email me at pinkbarnstamper@gmail.com and request this class. I do charge $15 for the class. That's going to include, again, the cardstock that you're going to need to make these 3 cards, along with the PDFs as well. You're going to get that, so you can make these cards. And then you can always go back and rewatch this video as well if you're more of a visual person like myself. I need to watch somebody make things before I can get the concept down. Now, I do try to write the PDFs as explanatory as possible, but you know what? We all make human errors, so it's just kind of nice to have it both ways. Alrighty, so as you guys might have seen over on my Facebook page, my personal page, I have shared with you guys what our week has kind of consisted of. We have put together, so back in Christmas, my husband asked me what I wanted, and I told him I wanted a great big greenhouse. Well, a white house, whatever, green, white, whatever color they come in. If it would have been pink, I would have went with that. But we went with white. And so he bought me a great big greenhouse. I am in love with it. And it is a 10 by 20 feet long greenhouse. And it is fabulous. We have got it all put together. So you should have seen us. We look like a bunch of fools out there. It was me, my son, and my husband all out there holding these big bars and everything to get this thing all put together. My son then came behind us and he tightened everything up while we were putting the canopy on it. So it was a 3-man deal. Definitely. It definitely took all of us. There's no way we could have done it with just 2 of us. We tried. Ask me how I know we needed 3. But we got it together. My husband actually went into town this morning, and he went to one of the landscaping places here in town and grabbed a big, we have a utility trailer. He got the utility trailer full of the potting soil that we needed, and he filled up all my garden beds out there. We actually have taken the garden beds down that I know you guys have seen me post pictures of out front. He took all the soil and the wood and everything from there, and he has transported those back to the greenhouse and filled in as much dirt as he could, but then he still realized that we needed more. My mom gifted us some of these big oval corrugated metal. They're probably about, I think they're about 12 inches. Yeah, I think they're about 12 inches high. So I'm going to do some onions and potatoes in those. I've started some squash, a couple different color squash, or zucchini actually. I started a cauliflower because we are still, I hopefully cool enough that I can get some cauliflower. I did the fast growing cauliflower. And then I did some fast growing spinach because spinach also needs to be a very cool climate, which here in Tucson, Arizona, we don't really get cool climates. Now, I will tell you that we have been a little bit cooler. Today, it's been very overcasty all day. We are getting a residual storm blowing in over here that came in off the coast of California and is kind of coming in. I know up more north Arizona, they're supposed to be getting hit with some snow, which is wonderful for them. But we're supposed to be getting rains overnight tonight, so that's cool. But out there, as soon as we shut all the windows and the doors and everything on that greenhouse, the humidity is insane. Like yesterday morning, I went out there just to kind of see where we were at and what we were getting put together. My glasses instantly fogged up. I couldn't see anything. It was so humid in there. So I went around and I opened up a couple of the windows because I was like, I can't even work in here with it being this sweaty. Like your clothes instantly stuck to you. Your glasses completely fogged up. Yeah, that's not fun. I can't work like that. So once I opened things up and we were still having a little bit of a breeze go on, it was kind of nice because then it was cooled off in there and I could get things situated and moved around. I hung some plants off of the top bar. I did some herbs off of that. I also did, we moved my husband's mint because the mint doesn't do well in the heat, but I'm hoping that back there, I also added some shading to it. Well, actually not to it yet, but as soon as the sun starts really beating, I have some big sheets of sunshade that I'll put over it to keep it from getting too hot in there. And then I've got peppers growing, which you can really see in the picture because they're in the raised garden beds. I've got peppers, I've got strawberries, I've got tomatoes. What else? Oh, basil. Basil is going crazy. Oh my Lord, I've got basil for days. I always tell my mom, I go, hey, whatever you do not buy basil. Come over here and pick it out of the garden. We've got a lot of it. So we are having fun with that. So yeah, that's kind of the update for the week that we've been working on. We've got doctor's appointments coming up this week. My daughter, we take her in. She goes in tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning, and she just got a new seat for the car. And it's actually one that swivels because I've actually been looking at a new car that has an actual, it's called the auto access seat. So if anybody is familiar with the Toyota Sienna, they are I think about the only ones that I know that you can actually buy them with this seat in it. But the seat in that actually has a motor to it where it comes up and then it turns and then it comes out. That's sliding, so it's a minivan. So the seat will come down, so we wouldn't have to lift her up into the car anymore because it's actually like taking a toll on our backs. And especially right now, since we're both having to lift her, it's hard to get within that. Thank God we have a minivan because there's no way we could have done it without having that vehicle. But we both have to. I lift up underneath her knees and I lift more of her butt while he comes up underneath her armpits and he lifts her back part up into her seat. So I'm hoping that until we can purchase a new car, the seat that we have gotten approved through insurance, it's actually a swivel seat bottom to it, base. So since she height wise, she would still need to be in a car seat anyways, just because she's a little person. Age wise, she is out of age and weight. I believe she's out of a car seat. But because she is shorter in stature, she still requires to be in a car seat. And because she does have seizures in the car, without being in a like restrained seat, a regular car seat, she would slide right out of it when she was having a seizure. So this seat gives her a lot more cushion. And then with now having the back surgery that she just recently had, this is going to help. It has like the headrest that comes around and kind of cradles her head. It does have like these pads that come down the side, so she'll be nice and cozy in the car. So that is news for this week. I'm going to get you guys flipped around. We're going to go ahead and get into, I've got some breaking news coming to you from Stampin' Up that I can't wait to share with you guys. So hold tight. Let me get you guys flipped around so we can get into some fun news. Hold tight. If you are not already subscribed to my page, I would love it for you to subscribe. And then you don't miss out on any of the wonderful cards that I share with you guys weekly. Throw some thumbs up. Let me know that you like this kind of content. Okay, I think that is pretty good right there. We might need to zoom it in a little bit once we get going on cards so you guys can see a little bit closer detail. But breaking news, you guys, February 18th through the 20th. So Wednesday through Friday of this week, you guys, free shipping on all orders over $75 or more. This is wonderful. Let Stampin' Up! Pay for your shipping. You guys, that is more product for you to purchase. So it's a wonderful time when they do this. I love it. I know I'm looking through the clearance rack, or actually it's called the last chance list right now. I'm actually looking through that right now, deciding what I need off of there. And I'm going to go ahead and place an order, purchasing things off of there, because then some of them are clearance down in price, and then I'm going to get free shipping on top of that. And if you haven't already, be sure to use your bonus coupons, and be sure that you add on the product of the month if you haven't gotten this already. So because your order has to be $75 or more to get the free shipping, you can actually add, once your order is $75, you can actually add the product of the month on there for just an extra $5. And this is called the Painted Illusion paper. This is the product of the month for February. Gorgeous paper. The colors, look at this. Darling Duckling, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, Lost Lagoon, Misty Moonlight, Petal Pink, and Pretty Peacock. And I actually just got an order in that I actually am going to show you guys this paper up and close for $5. Oh my Lord, it is still the paper that we all have come to love. It is still the perfect Stampin' Up! Quality. So don't think that just because it is a discount that they have, you know, not the quality that it's, you know, we've all come to love. Look at that. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. And you're still going to get 12 sheets of paper in this. So there's that. So there's 3 of those. I haven't even opened this up yet, as you guys can see. So this is new to me. Oh my gosh. Love this. So many mermaid vibes coming off of that, right? This looks very jungly to me. I love the colors of that as well. So that's the front and the back. That almost looks like a great big leaf pattern. So there's 3 of those. Then we've got this one here. Oh, look at the colors in that. Oh, you guys, I would highly, highly advise putting in your $75 order. Add this for the extra $5. Get yourselves the free shipping during the 18th through the 20th. Oh, you're going to love this paper. So, so gorgeous. Oh, loving it. So I need to design some cards, maybe even a scrapbook page using that paper, especially that mermaid look. I love it. Okay. Also, if you have signed up for the Lovely Blossoms class through Stampin' Up, don't forget that the live class is going to be February 19th, which is Thursday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. This features the Lovely Blossom Sweet Collection in this. They're going to make some fabulous cards with this. If you can't make it to the live class, just know that you can watch that at a later time. It will be pre-recorded. We have a wonderful join special going on. If you are not a part of Stampin' Up, let me ask you why. Because you need to be. Well, and right now they're doing this wonderful thing. They just created this new product. This is the Stampin' Positioner. I actually have it right here. Let me show you. I know I've showed it last week, but maybe some of you missed that. So this is the positioner. So you would set your paper down. You would put your stamp on the back of this. You can line it up in the little tracks here. You would push that down and it would stamp your image. Say that image for some reason didn't come out crisp and nice. Because it's stuck on this plate is always going to line up where it needs to be. You would simply re-ink that and then you can stamp down again. Now, say you want to do a image that you take a word and you want to run it. You know how you've seen those fancy cards where people say happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, and they do that in all different colors. Well, this tool does that for you. So you would put your stamped image on there, line your paper up, and then you would stamp. Then you can move that in those next two holes, stamp, move them again, and that's how you get that look. So this is a really, really wonderful tool. I know people were waiting for this new one to come out. They actually have grid paper that you can order for this as well. And it actually has little holes in it that lines up with these little pegs that are on here. So your paper will stay on there at all times. So then you have a grid to see measurements up here. So you make sure you have your paper straight and where you want that positioned at all times. So that is exclusive right now when you join Stampin' Up and you get that starter kit. To see more about that, go to my online store, which is shopdannygurrola.com. Hit that join button and it's going to walk you through everything you need to do to become a part of my team. We are the Pink Barn Beauties and you're going to love being on my team. So, and a little extra bonus that I do for my team is I actually give them all my PDFs free for being on my team. So every week I send out an email of the previous Make It Monday for them as well. So I'm always giving my team inspiration. We have so much fun with our team meetings. There's lots of gifts to be won. So just know that you are going to become a part of a fabulous community becoming a Stampin' Up demonstrator. And I want you guys all to know that you do not have to make a business out of it. The majority of the people who are on my team don't do businesses. They simply do this as a hobbyist. They get to get wonderful product to craft with, and they get a discount on that product. So that is the wonderful part of being through Stampin' Up. We have started in the month of, this goes through January 11th through February 10th. So this one, oh, wait a minute. This one just got over. Never mind. I forgot to, where did I put my other one? I could have swore I printed it out. Maybe I did not. Well, you don't want to see this one because that one's old. We are past that date. So I'm just going to hold this one up because I don't know where I put the other one. So for March, we have the Fluttering Garden. It is, as you can see, it's got beautiful birds, the hummingbirds on there. That is kind of a hint or a clue, you might say, for this paper pumpkin for March. And as we have gotten to know Stampin' Up with Paper Pumpkin. The month of March is Paper Pumpkin's anniversary. So they typically do a free stamp set in your addition to the already stamp set that you're going to get in the kit. And as usual, they have done that again for this March. So it says create charming cards with a hummingbird okay, never mind. For Mother's Day and more. Motif. There's the word. Geez Louise. Create charming cards with a hummingbird motif for Mother's Day and more. Okay, words are hard. Make 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs with 9 coordinating envelopes. You're going to get textured white card bases, pre-cut paper pieces, and sentiments. Now, this runs from February 11th through March 10th. So you've got almost a full month. I mean, we're just kind of a little bit past the 11th that you can go ahead and subscribe to this. Now, if you don't want to do a full subscription, you can check out a box and do it that way. But I guarantee you, you're going to love what you get in this. Stampin' Up! Has really stepped up their game. So if you have ever subscribed to Paper Pumpkin many, many years ago and you're like, yeah, no, I just don't think it's worth it, I really, really highly advise you to give it another shot. They have really come far with their box and kit designs now. There's some wonderful, wonderful things in these. I absolutely love getting mine monthly. But there's also an add-on that they do for the quarters. So now we do our Paper Pumpkins in quarters. And so there is an add-on that goes with all 3 kits for those 3 months. So I love that they do that too. So then you're just buying one product to go with that quarters of Paper Pumpkins. So that can also be checked out over in my online store. Make sure you mark your calendars. We have got the Mystery Stamping Live over on my private Facebook group. If you're not a part of that, please go over to the Pink Barn Stampers group and ask to join that. There are a couple of questions that are required in order for me to allow you into the group, and that's just to kind of try to keep that group as safe as possible. But I've already posted the supplies that you're going to need. You can also find those over on my blog, over on pinkbarnstamper.com. And just click that mystery stamping over in the little categories, and it will take you that you can see. I actually have a picture laid out of the dimensions. So again, me being a visual person, I just kind of take that as everybody needs to see things visually. So this will be happening at 3 p.m. Mountain Time on the 18th. There's all the time zones on there, so you can make sure. Now, I did put up an event over on Facebook that you can actually click the going button on that. And then when I go live, it'll actually send you, well, I hope that it would send you a notification letting you know that I'm going live. It's supposed to. I'm not going to hold Facebook to it because we all know how technology is. Right? One other thing that I wanted to share with you guys about what I have started doing with my paper pumpkins, because you guys know that my husband uses my paper pumpkins, my past paper pumpkins. Every other Friday, he goes live and does a cocktail and cards over on Facebook as well in my my business page, and he uses these. So what I decided to make it so much easier, instead of him having to like fumble through the kits and try to see what is in there, what I have decided to do is I bought some of these off of the Zon. I bought some of these envelopes. Now these are the storage bags. They're 9.4 inches by 7. They actually have the little write-on tabs if I wanted to, but I don't think that's necessary. So I have decided to put the pamphlet. So let me show you guys one of our, this one I haven't done yet because this was this last month's. So what I do is I just take my pamphlet out and I slide that in the envelope first. I then put all of my contents that are still in my kit inside of the envelope. Once I'm done putting everything in, I'll normally put the stamp set right towards the back here. So that's where my stamp set is. And then I take the little piece that they give us that has what the stamp set looks like inside of our kit. I slide this in there. So then when he goes to find whatever kit that he's using, he can see what the name of the kit, what it is, what everything looks like inside of it. Then he can flip it over and look at the stamp set as well on what that looks like. Now, what I've decided, I tried to put my Stampin' Spots in these envelopes. It was just too bulky and kind of crazy. So I decided that I was going to just take one of my leftover paper pumpkin boxes and store all my ink spots in here because he normally uses the full-size Stampin' pads anyways. But this way, if I go to a class and I need ink pads, I know I've got them all in here. So people can choose different colors if they want to. They're already here. And then what I'm gonna do is cut all the little pieces of paper. So I just taken a 1 1/8 by 1 1/8 little square and I put in the inside of there. I just use my Stampin' Seal and I tape that down inside of there. And then I take my ink and I just run it over the corner just so I can see the color and then the name of it when they're flipped upside down. Granted, I can flip it over and see what the color is, but since I store all my stamp pads upside down so the tops of them are nice and juicy when we want to use them, I can see it from the back as well. And this gives me enough where I can layer these two on top of each other to get those in there. Now, one of our kits did come with a Stampin' Spot organizer. I might actually put that in there and use it. I might not, but it's at least in there. Now I feel a little bit more organized. And I know it'll be easier for him to be able to find a paper pumpkin when he goes through it because I'm going to stick them in I'm going to get a storage bin, stick these in there, and then he can just kind of, you know, thumb through them as he goes so he can see what he wants to use. So yeah, just so if you're looking at a way of kind of condensing down all of your paper pumpkins, I really advise you doing it that way. I need to take a drink really quick. Sorry, you guys. It really kind of condenses everything down. Then you would have, you know, 1 or 2 bins, depending on how many kits you have, to have them just kind of lined up in there. You can move that bin when you need to, not like what I have right now where I've just got them stacked from shelf to shelf to shelf. They're just like stacked up. Like the one shelf has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 boxes going up to the ceiling. The top shelf does. And there's 2 rows of that. And then the second shelf is just jam-packed full of the paper pumpkins. And then I have probably, I would say probably 15 or 20 that I have already done like this, sitting on the table because I need to buy a bin that is at least 10 inches wide. So these can stand up in there and he can see those. So that's what I'm in the middle of looking for now. Let's see who is joining us today. Hello, everybody. We have got Cheryl. We've got Linda. Hello, hello. We've got Kimberly in here. Welcome, you guys. Thanks for coming in. Hello, Miss Melanie. Hello, Danny K. Hello, hello. How are you, my friend? So let's see what we've got going on here. So these are the cards that we are going to go ahead and create today. I've really had fun sitting out here playing with this sweet bug set. Did I get you guys back in frame? Oh, it's because I scrolled up to see what was going on. Okay. Yep, we're good. So this is such a cute set. I love the mushrooms. Now, my cousin's wife, she decorates everything with mushrooms. So I know I'm going to have to send her one of these cards with the little mushrooms on it. She's going to get quite the little hoot out of that. So let's go ahead and get these started. Okay. You know what? Actually, I think I'm going to share with you guys because I didn't get it done last week. I'm going to share with you guys the cards that you guys have all been sending me because I know everybody gets inspiration from one another. So let me just kind of get these out here. I'm going to just go through these pretty quick. Now, this is from Miss Linda Hunt. This is such a beautiful card. She sent this to my daughter for the Get Well card. I showed my daughter, and my daughter just got such a big smile on her face because, of course, she's kind of like her mama. She loves the pinks and the purples. Popping by to say hi, and it says, for a feeling better kind of day. And look, she carried those mushrooms off to the inside of there. So, so cute, Linda. And I know you're in here watching, so thank you so very much for making her day. Then we've got this one, Good Days Ahead. This is from Miss Anna Rebadoo. May you feel God's care and healing as you recover. And she used that design that we did for January's mystery stamping card, the layout that I shared with you guys. She used that in this beautiful card with the, oh, what are those? Scallops, I think is the name of those kind of, those clams. I think they're scallops. But they, in this paper, they were iridescent. So just a beautiful, beautiful card. And then we've got one from Sending You Big Hugs. Now this one is from Miss Kelly Atchison. She sent this to her. Look at the colors on that. Isn't that gorgeous? That was from to Miss Katie Cat to send her some big hugs. So thank you so much, Kelly. Then we have, this one is just a note. This one, there we go. This was from Anna as well, thanking me for, you know, drawing her name for our mystery stamping. So that's the other part of mystery stamping, is that we, I do giveaways for that as well. So that's from Miss Anna. Beautiful, beautiful cards. We have another thank you card here. I love this big chunky wording. I love dies that have words to them. I'm kind of a sucker for that. This is from Miss Linda Jackmastole. It says, can't thank you enough. So she was thanking me for some gems and some dies because she was a customer of the month. So beautiful card. Then we've got... this one is from Miss Janice. This is a neat little Valentine's card. It stands up kind of like a little easel. So, so cute. Look at the elements on that. I love this textured paper back here that she did with an embossing folder. Such a cute little card. Thank you, Janice. Then Miss Lisa went up and beyond and sent my daughter a... Marcelino. She sent a whole box of goodies to my daughter, and it showed up the day before Valentine's Day. So unexpected. I was so blown away. My heart was so happy for my daughter. She sent her a blanket. She sent her a little stuffy, and she gave her some little chocolates and then a big pillow that says XO. And my daughter was just in heaven when she got this. But she sent this little shaker card, so I was shaking it for Caden, and she was just staring at those little bits in there, and she was just like, what in the world? So it was so cute to see her face staring at just the little shakers in there. So she was just sending Caden some warm hugs, saying that she is truly wowed at Caden's bravery and her bright and shining smiles, and all the challenges that she has concurred. You are such an inspiration to all of us, along with the mama and the dad. So just such a heartfelt, you guys have been all so amazing sending the cards and the get wells. I truly appreciate it. You really have no idea how much it touches my heart for the generosity that you guys have all, you know, shared with us. So, all right, now to get on to our cards. So this week's kit is going to look like this. It's going to come with the 3 envelopes with each individual card, cardstock put in there, along with the cut paper that you're going to need. Again, you are going to need the Sweet Bugs dies and the Sweet Bugs stamp set. Is that not the cutest little stamp set? Look at all the stamps you get in there. Same with the dies. You get a ton of dies in here, and a lot of these dies coordinate with some of the images on the paper. So let me grab the paper really quick so I can share that with you. I don't know why I didn't already have it up here. Now let me grab some of this out of here because I have been playing with it, but let me grab out some that I haven't. So the paper is so stinking cute. So this one here, look at the snail and the little, what is that? Not a slug, but not a centipede, a caterpillar. Some butterflies here. And then when you flip that over, you've got more of just a muted pattern, but that's that petal pink. Then, and you're going to get 2 sheets of each of these. This one here, you can cut these individually and use these as your backgrounds or just a focal point to your card. I love when they do that for us. And the back side of it has these green leaves on it. So really, really pretty. Look at the berries on that one. You've got the raspberries and the strawberries, and then you've got this little bee that just buzzes around, just getting his little nectar on. And then the back side of that. This one, you've got a praying mantis on here. You've got that little caterpillar again. Look at these 2 little ants holding the the blackberry. Wrong fruit. And then this one looks like this paper, but it is just the different colors on that. I think, isn't that the one that I just shared with you guys? Yep, that goes there. This one, look at this praying mantis. It's pink and I am in love with her. She is fabulous. Now, I will share with you guys 3. See these 3 ants go marching one by one? Okay, these 3 ants, there's actually this die right here that cuts out all 3 of those. This big die right here actually cuts out the purple caterpillar with the leaf. The little, what are those called? Something bells. This little flower right here. We actually have a die that cuts out that flower. So really kind of cool that it cuts things out. The bee can be cut out. The 2 little bugs right here can be cut out. The mushrooms can be cut out. So really, really cool. Oh, same with the little guy holding the book. I think that's this one here. He gets cut out as well. So I like when they do that with paper, because then if you don't want to color and you don't want to do all the things. Oh, I forgot to show you the backside. I love that backside. I'm actually using that on a card tonight. Just really, really dainty little white flowers like in the grass. And then this one, definitely using this one again with those mushrooms. Look at all the different colors. I love the stump with that. And then you've got that traditional like picnic, blanket, tablecloth kind of look in the Poppy Parade. So such cute paper, you guys. You're definitely going to want to grab. And like I said, this comes in a sweet collection. If you have your catalogs, this is on, I believe it's page 43. Woo, look at there. I have a memory. So page 43, now this has actually a 4-page spread to it. So lots of inspiration going on here. They've showed you all these cards here, the paper, all the things that are in the Sweet collection. This ribbon is really, really nice. Very much flexibility to it. It's not a stiff ribbon. And then we've got the really, really cute, this is called the Ladybug Garden Epoxy Shapes. So you've got the ladybugs, and then you've got these little clear, almost like little dewdrops. And I've actually used those on a couple of cards because I love the way they look on a card. So as you can see right here on the little sentiment banner that I used, I put those little clear epoxies on there, and I just think it adds just, you know, kind of that little touch of moisture that you would see along with your bugs hanging out on all the plants on a crisp morning maybe. And then they've showed you all these wonderful little packaging. I love how they put the little, because I'm a big time canner, I love making little gift sets like this to give for the holidays. You've got the jams and it says spread joy. They've actually taken, you can cut these little berries all out, put that on your label. Look at this little cookie box that they made using that mushroom paper. And then what a great little placement set that if you were to go on a picnic, you can buy these little wooden like disposable silverware off of the Zon, and the little pockets that they made. Isn't that just adorable? So many cool things that they have shared. Look at the bookmark. Now, myself, I read my books off of Kindle. I actually just started a new book. I was going to tell you guys what it was called. It's called Valentine's and Murder or something like that. I'll have to put that on my page, what I'm reading. But yeah, the new book that I've started reading is, again, it's kind of one of those little cozy mystery ones because that's kind of my jam. I did finish the previous book, what was it? The Murder Before Christmas, I think is what it was. And that was really, really hard for me to get into. It was a very, very, I know this is going to sound really odd, but it was a very, very wordy book. Like it just seemed like it kept going on and on and on and on. It had a great story to it. Don't get me wrong. Once you like finished it, you were like, oh, okay, cool. But we could have finished that probably like 7 chapters prior. But it was very detailed. It was very wordy. But still, it was a good book. The new one, like I said, I just got into that. I've only been reading that a couple of nights. It's kind of like a caterer has a military past boyfriend that they're kind of on the rocks, and they are having a big Navy military kind of dinner that her and her friends are catering since they run a catering business. So that's all I know so far. Now by the title, you can tell that there's going to be some kind of, I don't know if it says Valentine's and Seduction or Valentine's and Murder, Valentine's and, I can't remember. And I'm on my phone, so I really have no way of looking it up right now. But anyways, I'll make sure for next week that I have the name of it, just in case you guys are interested in knowing what that book is. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here since I've said that 4 times and I'm squirrel because that's just my MO, right? You guys have all come to know that. And then because I did order some new product that is coming in our new, we've got some new, what is it called? Online exclusives coming in March. I did pre-order some stuff that hopefully I can remember at the end of the video. Let me write myself a little note because you guys probably need to see it because it's some really, really cool stuff coming up. So share March online. Okay. I will set that right there to make sure I don't forget, hopefully. All right, so let's pull out all the stuff that we need for our first card. So this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Now this is Old Olive. I have a piece of that like picnic paper. Let me grab my ruler over here. All the measurements will be on my blog tomorrow, pinkbarnstamper.com. This is 1 3/4 by 5. We are going to place that right there. We've got some of that paper with the berries on it. This is 3 by 4. This is going to get placed right like that. So it's just a really easy little layout for this. We are going to stamp a bug. We're going to stamp our sentiment. Now, I have used this Petal Pink. This is using the Nested Essentials dies. Now, I will include these in your kit because I don't expect you to have all of the things that I use. And because I'm not sure if this is still even something you can get, I will have this already pre-cut for you. The only things that you need to make sure you have are the bugs, the sweet bugs. You're gonna need those items to create all the other stuff, but this will be included. I have a little scrap of Poppy Parade and a scrap of the Mossy Meadow, and then my white here. We're also going to be using that fabulous ribbon. Now this is called the Old Olive, find English, Specialty Rick Rack. So that's fun. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp on this first. We do need a white piece for the inside of our card. What do I need? I need black for that. I don't know what the heck is tucked in there that I couldn't get my stamp out of there. Okay, so we're gonna use black. We're gonna grab that. Let's grab our stamps out of here. I'm gonna use the Hello Friend. And I'm going to stamp this kind of towards the bottom left-hand corner here. Just like so. Perfect. And then while we have that out, we're going to go ahead and stamp the little bumblebee right here. She's cute as can be. Pun intended, cute as can be. Okay, maybe not. That was a little hokey, but oh well. Work with me here, guys. Chloe just brought me a scrap of paper from the trash. I guess she does want to craft with you, right? She's like, hey, Mom, I know what's going on. We know what happens on Monday evenings. Okay, we're going to go ahead and color this. So I'm going to grab, what did I use? I think I used, no, I think I used Darling Duckling, to be honest with you, because I know that was one of the colors in here. So we're going to use Darling Duckling. I'm also going to use my Cajun Craze. Now I do need to order. I actually just put it in my list because when I went to use this, I realized, look at that, it's broke. It's got a big crack. I don't know if when I was using it that I dropped it, but it's completely dried out now. So I just ordered a new set of these. So we're going to go with the light because I know it still works. This one could probably just be tossed now. I need the cloud cover. We're going to use that. Okay, so cloud cover, and then the gray that we need. This is Smoky Slate. So let's get started here. I'm going to use the lighter of the two, Darling Duckling, and just come in here and do the stripes of the bee. I'll grab the dark. I'm just going to go in under his belly because that's where he would have some shadowing. So I'm just going to do that a little bit darker underneath there. Okay, I'm going to grab my, what did I say this was? Cajun Craze. And just do his little fluffy part there. I'm going to spin this over. This side, for some reason, is just a little bit darker, so I'm just going to add some of the little dark bits to that just for some shadowing. My cloud cover, I'm going to use light to just add some color to his wings. Or her wings, no judgment here. And then we're going to use Smoky Slate. I'm going to use the light first to cover her whole head. And then with the dark, again, just add some darker to the bottom where we would see the shadowing of her head. And then come in and then just kind of buff that out so we don't have such a dark line there. Okay, and that's all we need for those. Now that has the die. So let's grab our dies here. And we're going to use the bee. Where is she? There she is. I think I might need to zoom you guys in a little bit. It seems like I'm very, very far away that you guys probably can't see what I'm doing. Is that a little bit better? Seems like you guys are halfway across the world. And technically some of you are. I'm going to also use the Mossy Meadow along with these three. These are like the little tops of a strawberry or the blackberry. I'm going to put that on there and die cut that. I'm going to use, there's the 3 little berries here. You've got 2 size of strawberries, or that can be the inside of your flower, wherever that flower went. This flower right here, that could be like the little stamen at the top. I'm going to put that on the poppy. Let's move this stuff. We're going to bring this over here. Add the bee. Add the strawberries and blackberry. And then add those. And then we're going to run that through. See, Danny, I need you here so you could be my cutter again. Okay, and there's my berries. So let's get, there's those 2 different sizes. I'm going to actually use that bigger size of strawberry. Look, there's that little blackberry piece. We're going to place those up there. Here's our bee. And then here's our little tops of our berries. So I need to use my take your pick tool to get these out. Now I actually use 2 of these per berry. And I'll show you what I do here. I just take my glue and I just dab some of that on there, grab my take your pick tool, place this right on there like so. Then I just dab a little bit more glue along the side of that. And then I grab, helps if it's turned the right way. And then I take it and I just kind of overlap it like so. Just like that. I just think that looks a lot better. And then you still have 1 extra one. Okay, let's bring this stuff back down. So there's my pieces that we're gonna use. Now, I also need to use my Stampin' Seal. See how we're gonna use this. So using my left side of this piece here, I'm just gonna take my Stampin' Seal and run that down the edge. I'm gonna take my ribbon and I'm just gonna lay it right along, kind of just on the edge there. And then with my snips, I'm just gonna cut off the excess, just like that. Make sure that's all down. Yep, perfect. Okay, now with my glue, we're gonna go ahead and adhere this piece down. I know, I didn't have to cut things out for myself. It was nice having my little assistant sitting here. Okay, we're gonna place that right there. Then this one, I'm gonna put some adhesive along there. And then this one is gonna get placed right like so. Push that down. So it's quite an easy little layout, but it just adds lots of different colors, and I really love the way that turns out. Okay, I'm gonna pop this little hello friend up. And then we're gonna place that right down here. And then our B is gonna go up here. So I'm gonna grab another one of those. There it is. I'm gonna place that up there in the corner. So I want the B to be the same level as my little banner here. So I'm gonna pop it up over here like so. But let me grab my strawberry really quick to make sure my strawberry doesn't cover. So we're gonna turn her about like so. And then we're just gonna glue this little strawberry down. Oh, geez. Maybe if my hands will cooperate. There we go. Okay. So that is what the card looks like. Let's add some of our little ladybug garden epoxy shapes to this. Gotta fix my little tackiness on there. I'm gonna grab a big one, put it there, a little one there, and then we're gonna do another big one right there. Then I think what I'm gonna do on the inside is, let's see here. I think I might actually, what do we have? Hello, friend. I'm gonna put the little, I know this doesn't really go with the berries, but I'm gonna add, there's a little grass with the flower. I'm gonna actually add that in Old Olive across the bottom of this. But first, hold on a second. I want to see, I'm gonna use a little strip of that picnic paper. Let me see if I grab the right one here. So let me cut a strip of this off. So we're gonna cut this at just a 1/2 inch by 4. Put that strip there. Well, good. I'm glad you enjoy it. You know, Stampin' Up kind of makes it easy with the sets that they make because all their stuff coordinates So therefore, you kind of just look at it and they give us lots of inspiration by looking at the catalog. And I take little different bits and pieces from the catalog to create my cards. So if I see these two together, I might be like, huh, you know what? I saw the little bee on that paper. We're going to add a bee to it. And that's kind of where I just get my ideas from. Or, you know what? Good old Pinterest. I also use that as well. I'm not going to lie. But I don't typically like to just take one idea. I like to take a couple of ideas and throw them together to create something that's my own. So then I'm just going to take the Petal Pink Stampin' Blends here and just color in those little flowers just to give them a little bit of more of a match to that pink. That's again why I like our community of stampers, because everybody is willing to share their designs and what they, well, I don't know if I should say everyone, because I don't know if everyone does, but it seems to be that most of the people that I've found, they all are very good with sharing the products that they use and the ideas that they come up with. So there is card number 1. What do you guys think of that? Isn't that cute? I just love that pop of pink on there for some reason. I just think it kind of really grabs your eye. So there's that. And I tried to match it to the pink that's on the back side. That's like the, not the reds, but the other lighter color in there. So there's the first one, card number 1. Okay, let's set that over there. Now, card number 2. I wanted something that was a little bit more non-traditional for a card. So that's why I chose to do more of this little square look to this. Let me move all my scraps out of the way here. Get rid of all of this. So we're going to go ahead and create that one. So what I did for this is I used 8.5 by 4 1/4, and then I have scored it at the 4. So then when I fold this, it's going to give us a 4 by 4 card. I mean 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 card, sorry. So I scored that at 4 1/4. So again, let me say that one more time. 8.5 inches long, 4 1/4 wide, and then scored at 4 1/4. So then when it's folded, you have a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square. Okay. My little piece of designer series paper here is, again, I use that super cute little white daisy look designer series paper. That one is a 4 by 4. Now, before I adhere that down, we are going to wrap some ribbon on that. So I'm going to wait and do that in a little bit. I did bring in the, now these are on our last chance products, AKA clearance rack, the everyday arches. Let me actually tell you guys how much these are, because they are, I believe they were on clearance. I know if they're not discounted, they're something you're definitely going to want, because you get a bunch of them in here. You get 10 different arches in this. Let me look here really quick. Oh, maybe they're not on the last chance. No, it's just the stamp set that is on. I knew I had seen something that was on the last chance. So it says the full bundle is on last chance, but these dies are sticking around for a little bit. So that's kind of cool, because they are very, very loved. I know so many people use these arch dies. So these are still available. The whole die set. These are called the Everyday Arch dies. If you don't have these, I highly recommend you get them. So I used the And if you want the matching stamp set, the matching stamp set is on the Last Chance products. So I used the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I used 5, I think. Let me see. Nope. I think I used 6, actually. Yep. So I used number 6. So starting at the smallest, count up to 6, and that's the one that I used. But when you place your order or you want this kit from me, yours is going to come with this piece already in it. Just in case you don't have these and you're not trying to place an order right now, which you need to when it comes to the 18th, 19th, or 20th, so you can go ahead and get that free shipping. It might be one of the things you want to add to your order. Okay, let me crease this a little bit better here. Okay, that's going to go there. This is going to go here. Now we're going to do a bunch of die cutting. I did bring other pieces just in case I don't get it all out of this one piece. So let me show you guys what we're going to be doing here. Let me bring this over. Now we need to use our dies here. So we've got this little leaf and stem here. We're going to need 2 of those. So I think I might actually put that together so we can get 2 out of there. And then this little stem and leaves as well. We need 2 of those. So again, I'm just going to cut both of those together so we can get both of them one and done. So let me put that over here and die cut that. Okay. So here are both of these and both of these. It looks like that one, oh no, it didn't get stuck. Okay. These 2 have been compressed together. Okay, so there's both of those. And then both of these. Okay, voila. Then on our white piece here, I also need a little piece of Cajun Craze, and I have a piece of, I think that is, it's either crushed curry or darling duckling. I think it's crushed curry though. Isn't it? Yeah, I think it's crushed curry. Darling duckling, the paper to me, and if you love that paper, cool. It almost seems like a dirty yellow to me. And I don't like the color yellow anyways, but Darling Duckling just seems like a dirty yellow. So I don't use it very often. We're going to take this little flower. Now this is the one that's also going to create that and that. So on one flower, I'm going to do it down, and then on the other flower, I'm going to do it up. So I need to cut that twice. Oh, I was trying to see if I had another little scrap of white that I could cut 2 of them off with. I could do that here. So then we'll do that like so. And then 2 of these flowers here. Now these do come in 2 sizes. So you have the bigger one and then the smaller one right there. I'm using the bigger of the 2. So let's run that through here. Okay. And again, they're still stuck together, but we'll just pull them apart just like so. And then same with this one. Okay, then what I'm gonna do on these two small ones, I am going to grab my, where did I put it? My Cajun Craze. And I'm just gonna fill in the center of that and the center of that. Then I'm gonna grab my little water painter here and just coming in with, I think I'm gonna use the Petal Pink. I'm gonna grab some ink here and then just kind of just add a little bit of color just to the outsides of that, and then do the same thing in the middle of this. My brush is awfully wet. Let me try to dry this off. Grab a tissue over here. Got a little bit too much moisture on that. Grab a little bit more color. There we go. Just like that. So you could use just a regular paintbrush if you have that handy. If you don't have these water painters, you don't have to have that. You could use just a regular paintbrush, like just one of these cheapies that you get at Dollar Tree. Dip that in just a little light bit of water and then come in here and then you can add your color that way. Just so you don't think you have to have the water painters for something so small. It's not necessary. Okay, but that just adds just a little bit of tone to that I think it looks really good on this card. All right, so let's go ahead and start adding all of our pieces that we're going to use here. So this one is going to come over here. Did you guys have a wonderful kind of like 4-day weekend with the Valentine's and President's Day today? I know some people took Fridays off, the Friday off, but if you were going out on Friday instead of the weekend, then I'm just going to bring this one up just a little bit higher there. Now, before I adhere that down, I'm just going to take a little dab of glue on the back of that and slide it right underneath there. Just like so. Flap some of those little petals up just so it gives it a little bit of depth to it. This one here, I'm going to take a mini dimensional, pop that there, take that off. I know I haven't glued the little center to it yet, but that's okay. I'm going to put that right there. Oops, did I not take the backing off? I thought I did. Okay. I'm going to go like that. Now on this, I'm going to use those 3 little berries. And we're going to die cut that. And I'll show you how we do that little piece. So again, you're going to get all 3 of the little berries. I want the smaller one here, or I'm going to actually just use the blue, but well, wait a minute. Maybe on this one, I want to use this. I think I'm going to actually use that. instead of this. So you can use whatever one you want to. Just place just a little bit of glue there. And hopefully your hands are more willing to work for you than mine are. Push that down on there. Okay, and then these two, we're just gonna go ahead and add mini dimensionals to the back of those. Yes, they are. Those dies are extremely popular. That's right. I remember looking at it earlier today and I was like, well, but it obviously was the stamp sets that I saw that were on there, not the dies. But yeah, I'm glad that they're keeping those dies as well. Okay, so this one, well, and the thing is they're so versatile, and I love dies like that because, again, you would have, you know, never thought of using the arches on the stamp set, at least on this kind of a card, but it works perfect on a card with the bugs. So it is one of those sets that really can be just kind of thrown around anywhere, and it works great. And I think most of us crafters do love the different like nesting shapes like that, because then you can put them on each other with different colors. I think that's a big selling point with these as well. Okay, so I'm just going to put that one there. Now we can come in and add our flowers. Just like that. I'm also going to bring in my Wink of Stella. I actually just ordered a new one of those too because my Wink of Stella has been having issues. I did order, finally, I have been like, I don't know what my problem was, but I have been camping on purchasing the embossing essential tools. So I actually wound up just getting those because I had my coupons for my bonus days. So I went ahead and got the embossing edition toolkit, which I've needed this. I just have been kind of lazy and just putting it off. So I went ahead and got it. So this comes with your little embossing buddy, your little duster that you guys see me use all the time. It comes with a tray that you can pour the embossing powder back into whatever container you use. It comes with the little tweezers. Now these are metal, these are not plastic. So this will keep you from burning yourself. Now they're kind of like a backwards tweezer, so you push them to open them, and that will hold your paper. Well, maybe if I can get it on there. Let me use this piece. It will hold your piece, so when you're embossing, you're not burning your fingers and you can get that away from yourself. So I love those. And then how we're always looking for a brush to dust off all that excess powder, they actually put a really nice thick brush. This is kind of a heavy brush, to be honest with you. So I'm going to use my white embossing powder, and we know we need our Versamark because that's what's going to get our powder to stick to our paper. So I am using the Spreading Joy stamp set. So taking out my little embossing buddy here. Now I do have another one that I keep over here, but this one's nice and new and in a bag. So take this, just lightly dust it across there, like so, to keep the staticky from hands and all that kind of stuff off of there. Now it being brand new, it did go kind of heavy on there, but that's okay. We'll wipe that off. Now using my Versamark to have that powder stick, I'm just going to stamp right in the center of this because this piece is the one that I'm going to cut off, just like so. Always make sure you close your Versamark before you dump any of your powder, because you definitely don't want any of your powder sticking to that stamp pad and ruining your pad. Now, if you had your little jar, like our stamp embossing powder comes like this in these little jars, you could take your little jar and just dump it on there. I have mine in this big container because that's how I've always done it. But what you're going to do is you're just going to take it and you're just going to dump it on there. I like to shake it to make sure it gets in all those little bits and crevices. Tap it. Now see, I don't have any powder everywhere else because I use that embossing buddy to get that off of there. Now, because this has like this little funnel here, I can simply unscrew my little end here. And when I tap this off, it's all gonna just go down into that hole right back into my container. And then you can come in with your little brush and just dust off any little excess that you don't need hanging out. Put that back on, and voila, I would just keep all this stuff tucked over here. Close this now since we're done with the powder. But now I won't need to carry these big things around with me. I'll just keep my little jars. They take up a lot less space. Granted, I normally buy a couple of them at a time to pour into my containers, but it's just an extra space saver to not have to use that. So then turn on my heat tool here. And since it is kind of cool, it takes a few minutes for that thing to heat up. I think today we got to 62 degrees, which I know for some of you, that's like, holy geez, that's summer weather. For us, that's winter. Okay, now this little guy, I'm just going to keep all my little pieces. Where did my, right there in that tray, and I'll just slide that into one of my little shelves over here. And that is what my little piece comes out looking like. But I want to get all these little white things off of here. So typically I would grab, let me see over here. I think I have some toilet paper, which I just keep handy if I need to wipe a, one of my, what am I running over? I'm running over my paper. If I ever need to wipe off my paintbrushes, I always use just a little bit of this. Now, if I take that and just rub that on there, that's going to take all that dusting of the embossing buddy off of there. Then I'm going to put this in, minus my little lint, and go about right there. So that looks like it's about 3/4 of an inch. Cut that. Now I want my ends slanted. Oops, you guys probably can't see that I'm pointing to whatever's off in space there. I want my sides slanted a bit. So how I achieve that is I put my paper in here and I make my first cut at the slant that I want. Just like that. Okay, so there's my first slant. I'm gonna flip this. Now, this slant, in order to achieve the same exact cut on this side, all I do is I line this side up to one of my lines. So if I have that straight on the line there, now watch. When I cut that, it's going to be the same exact cut as what I did on that one. And in order to see that it is look, both of my pieces have the same exact lineup on them. So if you didn't know how to do that, now you know. Okay, so that we need our ribbon. Where's my card at? So what we're gonna do with this is I'm gonna take my ribbon and I'm gonna lay this across here. But first, I think I should adhere that where I want it. Now, The main thing you need to know about creating this card is when you create this card, if you are going to mail it, now if you're going to hand it to somebody, you can take this thing all the way up to the top if you wanted to. But if you're going to be putting it in an envelope, I would suggest that you have your envelope handy. And when you go to put this on here, you make sure that you're not going past the, let's see, I think our envelope is 5.75. Where did my ruler go again? There it is. Are these 6 inches? So yeah, they're 5.75. So 5 3/4 inch long. So you might want to just have a ruler or something around when you're going to put this on, because you want to make sure that you don't go past the 5 3/4 with this center point up here. So I'm good at keeping it right there. Obviously I need to straighten it out a little bit, but as long as I'm not going past the 5 3/4, this will then on my card tuck into my envelope. Does that make sense? Hope that made sense. I think it made sense. Sounded good here. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. And just to be on the safe side, do as I say, not as I do. I'm going to go about right there to make sure that I'm not going past. Nope, we're good. Get this out of the way. Make sure I give that a good push. Then my ribbon, there it is. This is where I can take my ribbon and I can just go across that. I didn't like these just kind of raw dogging it here. So I was like, okay, I need to cover those. And that ribbon goes well over that. Then we're not raw dog. All right. So then if we take that, add that about right so. We can flip one end and use just our regular Scotch tape. I have this handy dandy little Scotch tape thing that I just clip onto my desk, and then I can just pull the tape off when I need it. Then it's not going anywhere. And then I'm not fighting with a tape dispenser. Okay, I'm going to pull that across over to here. Perfect. All right, now to put this on our base and then add our little, now see, I did push this one down quite a bit, but I like it actually with more space there than this being cramped on top of there. But you could do what you want. If you want it more condensed, move it down. If not, don't mess with it. I am going to take, before I adhere that all together, I am going to take my yellow piece here and using, they have this little die. Maybe if I can get it off, it's right in the strip of that tape. That has all 3 of your bugs. You've got a dragonfly, a snail, and a beautiful butterfly. We're going to die cut those. And I like that with little tiny pieces like this, that they do them all 3 together, because I could not imagine trying to hang on to that little bitty piece by itself. And I would have them lost before I even knew what was up anyways. So to have those all be together is just perfect. So let me bring this over here so we make sure we don't lose them. Same like how they did the berries. I cannot imagine trying to keep track of a die that was that big by itself. Yep, wouldn't happen. All right, so here are 3 bugs, and of course, all 3 of them are gonna stay stuck, but all I need is the butterfly. The flutterby. Look at that snail. Isn't he cute? Maybe, again, to hold on to them. See that little snail? He's just so adorable. He'd be cute. Just running across the top of that. Okay, I'm going to use him. I didn't think I was going to, but I'm going to. He's just too cute not to use. On this card here, just to give you a little extra idea, I die cut those bugs with vellum, and I bent the vellum at the seam of the butterfly, and I added the vellum on top of the yellow to kind of give it a little bit more dimension to it. It's really kind of hard to see on that yellow, so that's why I'm not going to do it here. And then I added some Wink of Stella to it. This one, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to bend those wings back when I go to adhere it on this flower here, because I do only want glue down the center. I want him to be able to have his wings up like he's taking flight. And then we're just going to put him right like so. Let him adhere. And then when we get this all stuck on here, I'm going to add that snail, because that snail is super cute. All right, so now we're just going to add this right to our card base. Now that white, I forgot to tell you, is thick basic white. Just so you know that this is thick basic white, so then your card will stand and not be flimsy and flop over. I'm going to add the dimensionals to the back of this. And we're going to put that right down here. Okay, that looks good. And then my snail, I'm going to try to fit a mini on his back. Maybe, I think it'll be okay. Kind of tuck that behind. And I'm going to set that right like he's crawling along the top of our sentiment. You know what? Those tweezers might come multi-handy when you're adding little pieces like this. You can really kind of push that down on there. He's cute. I think I love him. Okay, now to grab our ladybugs. And did I forget to? I did. Ooh, I brought Wink of Stella out here. Hold on a second. I forgot to add Wink to the wings. Let's take this card back. So this was card number 1. I forgot to add Wink of Stella to his wings, which we need glittery, shimmery wings. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yep, we needed that. All right, now on my flowers, I'm going to do this little Cajun craze. I'm going to do the center of these. And I'm holding this up because my Wink of Stella has been having issues with leaking everywhere. I'm going to put some on my butterfly, and I'm going to put some on my snail on his little back. There we go. Perfect. Just add a little bit. Oh, geez, wrong lid. Ha! That wouldn't get me very far. So there, then you have just a little sparkle and shine on the centers of our flowers, our snail, our little butterfly. Once he's pretty stuck down there, we can just spread those wings up again. See that dimension when you add flip the wings up? We can come over here to this flower, flip these up, do it to the petals on here. These remind me of starfish also. Starfish? Yeah, that's what they're called. All right, let's grab our... I know I grabbed them. There they are. We're going to grab these little guys. Look at those ladybugs. Let's use some of them. All right, so I'm just going to grab maybe. These guys are really stuck. We're going to put one right there. Grab another one and put her. Right up there. There we go. We've got beautiful ladybugs. That reminds me of that. This whole set reminds me of, have you ever seen A Bug's Life by, I think it's like Disney or Pixar, but oh my gosh, all these little cute characters remind me of the bugs on there, especially the 3 little ants, because it kind of has ants in that. So there is our second card. Let's go ahead and do something on the inside here. I think I'm going to stamp. I like these little, they're called something bells. Are they called cowbells? What are they called? That flower is called some kind of bell. But we're going to kind of keep the whole theme going here with our flowers, since we have flowers on the outside. I'm going to stamp this right in the inside here. I know, aren't those ladybugs the cutest? So we're going to take this and we're going to just stamp that right like so. Okay. Now, if I do add any color to it as far as a Stampin' Blends, it's going to blend through the back, and I don't want that. I think I'm just going to call it good like that. I could, let's see, would I add, because I think if I even put, let's see, I think even if I do petal pink, it's going to bleed through. Maybe I can do it just very lightly and not let it seep. Let's see. Ooh, that worked. Okay, let's try. I know I did mossy on here. I think if I do mossy, it's probably gonna leak, but again, I'm just gonna go very lightly. Just add some, just like so. Let's see, did we get leakage? No, but it's like if I would have kept going, it would have. So we're going to call that good just to add a little bit of pretty to the inside. I think we need Spread Joy. Our other sentiment is Love You Lots, or the other one was Spread Joy, or no, where was the other one? No, Hello Friend. We could add that to the inside, or we could just leave it alone and know that this card is when we want to spread some joy, then we can write on the inside. I think just the single flower, we can call it good, or I could actually find what I did with the paper. There it is. I think what I might do is I might take this and add a strip of, no, I don't like that. Nope, we're not. We're going to leave it alone. Because once we have a sentiment stamped across the center, or you can even stamp, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do Hello Friend in black. Because the font actually looks really good together. So we're just going to put this right down there. Yep, that's better. That's what we needed. Spread Joy, Hello Friend, because we're spreading joy to our friend. There we go. That's cute. I like that. And that does work really good together with that stamped sentiment in the little flowery part. So there's card number 2. just something a little bit different. Okay, let's get to card number 3. Card number 3 is, let me show you guys the card that I'm going to be making, and then I'll show you the inspiration that I got from my neighbor who brought over some of her cards and was like, do you like this? And I was like, oh my God, I love it. And she goes, well, do you want to keep these here? And I go, yeah, because now I have to like, not necessarily dissect her card, but I had to figure out measurements. So I did. Now let me grab her 2 cards. So this is the first one that she shared with me. Isn't that so cute? I love this tea set. That was such a cute set with her little matching envelope here. So this paper is so cool how you fold this. Super, super simple if you haven't seen this technique yet. Oh, you're going to be amazed with how easy it is. So there's the first one going landscape. Then her other one that she shared with me, this one is a portrait style card, and I fell in love with it as well. And I knew I wanted to do a portrait style card for this next card. So I'm going to use kind of her design here that she used. And look, she even has her little cute envelope to go with that. So without further ado, let's get into the one that I did. So I used the mushrooms for this and use the mushroom paper. Now you can flip flop your papers however you decide to do it if you make this on your own. But if you don't know how to do this technique, hold on to your shorts because it is super, super simple. All right, so what we need, here's my inside. So what we need is, I am using soft seafoam. I don't use this color very often, so I decided to use it. So this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're gonna go ahead and score that, get that burnished down. Now what we have for our pieces of paper here, we are using the more decorative side of the mushrooms. This measures 2.5 by 5 1/4. So that's gonna be my centerpiece. Again, like I said, you can flip this around. Let me show you what it would look like the other way. If you flip that way and you did your mushrooms on the outside, that's how it would look like. I mean, that one's folded, this one's not, but you can see where I'm going with that. So you can flip yours around if you decide to. So the mushrooms are going to go in the middle. Then we have 2 strips of the picnic table, kind of tablecloth. These are 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. These are going to go on our outsides, kind of like the curtains, I guess you would call them. So what I need to do first is I need to take this piece and we're going to just put this right down the center. I'm not measuring it. I'm just eyeballing it. If you feel that you need to measure, go right ahead. But it's really simple that I don't think it's necessary to measure. This is going to overlap it anyways. Just make sure you kind of see what you got going on here. Now our 2 outside pieces, our curtains, if you want to call them that, these are only going to get adhesive down the outside. So let me turn these over so they're facing. Okay. So they're only going to get adhesive right down this outside piece because we don't want any adhesive on the inside because these, we're going to flap them back on themselves. So we're going to just glue. And these are really easy to line up too because you've already got your center. So all you're going to do is line up your top and your bottom, and then you can see where your side is here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one line, maybe after I get my glue booger off. Wait a minute, I missed something. I love the ladybugs. Love it, love it, love it. What set is this? This is the Sweet Bugs. Oh yeah, somebody already answered you. Kimberly answered you. Or it is the full suite of product that is called the, what is the full suite called? I said it earlier. page 43, right? Yep. It is, the full suite is called Cute as a Bug. If you want all the things, like if you want the ribbon and the ladybug epoxy dots, along with the paper and the stamp and dies. But this is something that you should definitely have on your wish list. And don't forget, free shipping is coming up the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And you can always add on that product of the month if you haven't gotten it already. Okay, so I'm just going to run a small little line there and then add this right to. So I'm just watching my margin over here. So I can see what my margin is on the top and the bottom, and I just keep that same margin going along there. So now, again, this is all free floating over here. The only part that it's adhered is this. So I'm going to do the same thing with this piece. I'm just going to adhere only on the left side. If you want to use Stampin' Seal, you could do that as well. I don't mind using glue. Again, watching the top and the bottom margin, I can see that I need to just keep a little bit of space over here. So this is where I was saying, see where there's plenty of overlap happening to that center point. Okay, now we're going to take this, and this is where you need to kind of watch what I'm doing. You can either use a score tool, you can use, you know, a pencil. I don't use anything. I just hold it and go for it. So what you want to do is when you open this piece, see where this piece of paper ends? You kind of want to hold your flap to where that is and then just pull back. So hold your finger right there and then just pull back to that outside point and then bring it down. That makes sense? You're going to need a bone folder to press that, but I did not. Again, some people want to come in here and hold that to hold that crease. I don't worry about that. You're just wanting to make sure that you hold that there so it doesn't go past here and you see your cardstock behind. You want it to match up with the inside of that piece. So now we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to attempt to pull this up. I'm going to hold my finger right here where the inside line is. I'm going to hold that there, and then I'm going to peel this back. See how that was done? Then when I push, I can now just run this down. Okay. Now, if your centers don't match, don't worry about the center. The center is going to get covered up with our focal point. So right now we're only working on this. Let me zoom you in a little bit more just so I can show you this again. So again, holding my finger, see, I can see where my paper lines up right there. I'm going to hold on to the top part and then fold that back. Now your finger is going to kind of be in the way, so you just want to kind of pull your finger out of the way with adding that, and then zoop, just go down. So you're not seeing the back paper there, but it's lined up right with that. Does that make more sense? Okay, let's do it again over here. I'm going to hold my finger where that paper lines up, and then let's make sure I'm on camera. Okay, I'm going to line up where that bottom piece is. Just hold my finger there and then pull that back. And then zoop, run that down. And there we go. All right. Did that make sense? Do you guys have any questions? Is there any way I can make that a little bit more simplified? So again, This side's a little bit wider than this side, but we're not worrying about our centerpiece because this is going to cover up all that, and all you're going to see are these pretty little flaps. Pretty cool, right? All right, so now what we need to do is I need to use a piece of Cajun Craze and a piece of, so the inside and my scrap are going to be, instead of using white, I am using Very Vanilla. And then I have brought in a scrap of the Secret Sea. And of course, bringing out my Stylish Shapes dies, I have used die number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from the smallest to the biggest, number 5. If you don't have those, like I said, this will be in your kit. It will already be pre-cut for you. So now we're going to come in here and grab our dies. I need my large mushroom and I need my small mushroom. I do need my Poppy Parade ink because I'm going to stamp on this. Maybe I should go ahead and do that ahead of time. So let me flip this around. There we go. Kind of utilize more of my paper. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my die cutting machine. Cut those. And on here, we have got these 2 pieces here. This is what are the caps of your mushroom. So I just put those on there and die cut those as well. Kind of get it all done together. Whoops, as I'm throwing things over here. Okay. So there are both of my mushroom caps. And then here are both of my mushrooms. And of course, the mushroom stuck inside of those. Okay, there's one. And there's 2. All right, I need to get my chamois here. Why is my chair is like stuck? It would not roll forwards. I think my mat has shifted underneath me and it doesn't want to roll anymore. Okay, so I'm going to grab my Poppy and I'm going to do this right over here towards the closest to the right side as possible. Then we're going to take our little mushrooms and we're going to construct them. Okay, there's that one. And there's that one. So very simple. Okay, this mushroom I'm going to actually pop up. I'm going to use a large dimensional up there and then one of my minis on the stem. And I'm going to place this right like so. And this one, I'm just going to adhere down. This one's just going to get tucked right underneath that. Okay, we are going to use our epoxy dots. I'm going to come in with a couple of these clear little dewy rain looking ones because typically where mushrooms grow, it's kind of moist. I know a lot of people hate that word. Okay, I'm going to put this one there. And then put this little one that's just kind of lonely over here right there. So I'm just going to put the two on there. Right in between, like it's just little drippies coming off of our mushrooms. You know, it might be cute to put a little ladybug on the top just because it might tie in all that red. Let's see. What do you think? Absolutely. That's exactly what I thought about it when she showed me hers. I was like, what an amazing way to show off both sides of paper. Exactly. Yes, this design is wonderful. And I had never seen it before until she brought it over. And I was like, huh, do you have the directions? She goes, no, I'll send them to you. And I go, well, you know what? I'm going to look at your cards and I'm pretty sure I could probably just measure out these two pieces. And then I can measure where it is. And then we can just figure it out. I did have to find, I don't remember who it was that I watched, how she tucked these back to make sure that I didn't go over that because I would have not thought about that. No, maybe not. Might have been cute with one of those on there, but we're going to leave it alone. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my dimensionals and I'm going to actually put dimensionals on my paper versus on my circle, just like that, knowing that my circle is definitely big enough that it's going to fit over all of those little pieces. Now, if you want to, you could, if you don't want these flapped up, I don't know how you do it. Who was it that Cheryl said that? She did a bunch of these designs. Do you, get off of me. Do you glue these back? Your little 4 flaps? You can glue those back if you want to. I kind of like them up and having the flappiness to them. I like that kind of play to them. But you could adhere them down. You could put a dimensional behind there if you wanted to. You can actually come in here and glue this part down if you don't want that moving around. But once you put your piece on there, it's not going to move anyways because you're gluing this in 4 or adhering it in 4 different places that once this is down, it's going to hold everything together. You could put any shape in the center of this. It doesn't have to be a circle. I just kind of saw the circle and I was like, yep, that's what I'm going with because I thought those mushrooms look so cute together. And with the color of using the same as the caps on these mushrooms, it kind of just brings out that mushroom paper behind it. So super, super cute. Love it. Let's actually add the inside. I think I did this one. Yep, I did. We're going to add a, so we have this little mushroom stamp. It's got 3 little mushrooms together. So I'm going to adhere this paper. Down like that. I'm going to grab my poppy again. Did I use Poppy? I don't think so. I think I used Cajun, but since I'm already here. Okay. Put that like so. I'm also going to grab the sentiment that says, love you lots, because I know who I'm sending this card to. I'm sending it to my cousin's wife. Just like that. And then we're going to adhere that to the inside of our card. And there is our third card. Isn't that so cool? I'm so glad you guys have been making this. I feel like I'm late to the I'm late to the show. It was the first time I had ever seen it. I was like, what in the world? And I don't even know what to call it. I don't even know what one would call this. I think I typed in like flapped edge, or what did I say? Collar edge. And then you know how you see a lot of them where it's just the one side that has the collar edge coming up? That's what a ton of cards came up. But then all of a sudden one that looked like this came up and it was a video. So I was like, sweet. So I had just watched how they laid it down, but I didn't catch if there's a name to this. Cheryl, do you know if there's a name to this? Collar bells or lilies of the valley. Look at you. And she is talking about, are you talking about this? Is this one called collar bells? And they're also called lilies of the valley? Or is that curtain fold? Aha! That would make total sense. I was just calling it a curtain, but I didn't know that's actually what it was called. Well, that makes perfect sense that it would be called that. Yeah, awesome. Or is that these flowers up here? I'm pretty sure you're talking about the inside flowers, right? Willamette Valley's middle name, Moist. Yeah, right? Yep, so there are, let me bring these all back in. So I hope this shows off this adorable little set for you guys. And you add this to your list of products for when you go to make your purchase on free shipping. The instructions, I have called it a pleat card. Okay. Well, I'll have to look it up because I didn't see, I mean, I was just calling it a curtain card. So, but I would like to, because I know I have people who will ask me, oh, what is the name of that? What do you call that card? Because, you know, they want to look it up and see other people using it as well. Cool. All right. Well, now I've got a couple of names for it, so I can reference it with both. All right, you guys, if you haven't thrown me some thumbs up on this video, please do so now. I love it when you guys do that. It helps with the algorithm of YouTube to get my video thrown out there for more people to see so they can enjoy our wonderful card crafting as well. If you're not subscribed to me, please subscribe to my channel so you make sure you see all things card making, Stampin' Up, and so on. As usual, you guys, create, craft, and spread kindness because everybody could use a little bit more kindness in their life. I know you guys show me all the kindness and the, you know, the love there is. And I absolutely love you guys for that. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Hopefully you guys got to take today off and enjoy the couple day weekend. If you were able to take Friday off, that's even better that you got a 4-day weekend. Yeah, makes sense to you too. Yeah, that's when I looked at it, that's kind of what I thought. It was more that not this part of it that I thought of the curtain. It was when I just adhered these sides down. That's when I thought it looked like a curtain to me. And maybe it was this paper that helped with that. I'm not sure. So, all right, you guys, I will see you guys next Monday. Don't forget that we have mystery stamping coming up on the 18th, which is Wednesday. If you can't be live with me, that's okay. You can always catch the replay. And I would love to see you guys get your cards submitted by the 25th. Like I said, there is a drawing in that. Oh, not in the healthcare. Yeah, that's right, huh? I know it was kind of funny when we were in the hospital with my daughter. They were all so amazing there. Like I said, the one girl that was working with us for the most of the time, she actually, one of her days off that she was supposed to have off, she actually came in to work. She had told them that she would pick up another shift because she loved spending time with Caden so much and loved hearing our stories about her and everything. So it was really kind of cool that she went up and beyond because she was telling us, you know, she has small kids and she has a husband or boyfriend, whatever. And that she decided to take her day off and spend it with us. I mean, that's pretty cool. So yeah, no, I get healthcare is one of those jobs where you're kind of committed to, and it's kind of a, I mean, you know what you're doing is gratifying, but then I'm sure at the end of the day, when you finally get to kick your shoes off, you're like, oh God, why do I do this? I'm sure you know why you do it, but you know what I'm saying. All right, you guys, thanks for coming in and joining me as usual. I love seeing you guys all pop in. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.